We're going to welcome into the blue couches now Steve Osborne with AHN St. Vincent, here to talk about the 150 display you were on earlier, talking about kind of a kickoff to all of this. But basically, AHN St. Vincent is celebrating 150 years, and you've got all the historical goods.
Yeah, sure. So we've had a variety of events all year, some for our employees, retiree events. We have a lot of graduates of our school of nursing, and they had a reunion. And then in July we had a big 150 Fest where we had green space. We closed 25th Street and about 1,500 people came, and we had a petting zoo and food trucks, and it was a lot of fun.
That's great. A lot of reminiscing, I would imagine.
Oh, the retirees have been having great events, and also the School of Nursing. So now we're kind of focused on our kind of last big hurrah, which is this Friday, September 5th, which is the exact anniversary of St. Vincent, 150 years old, started in 1875.
On that date. That's amazing. And so you've got a nice display at the Hagen Museum. Talk about some of the things that you were just showing me, that hospital bill.
Sure.
That's just, it really is neat. It's a step back in time.
So we've worked with different departments, the OR and the family practices and the imaging department, and everyone scoured out and found things, and we brought it all together and we cherry picked that to put in the museum. So the main walls there are going to have the history starting in 1875 and how we added services, and moving along to 1950 and then so forth. The history will be on the side walls, and then in the some more walls we have like a history of the School of Nursing, a history of philanthropy, and then in the middle we have a whole bunch of historical artifacts. And so you mentioned this bill. I mean, can you imagine? So this patient had room and board for 35 days. They went to the OR twice. They had an ambulance visit, all for $192.
Oh my gosh!
In 1922.
We're probably more than $192 a minute now.
So everyone who worked on the committee was just flabbergasted. $192 for a 35-day.
So, and you brought that old microscope in.
This microscope belonged to Dr. Elmer Hess. He's a very famous urologist. Interestingly, he was one of the founders of urology in this country back when it was a beginning specialty, and he made St. Vincent a very famous urology clinic. Like Dwight Eisenhower, the president, came here, and at one point in like the 50s, it was the 6th largest clinic in the country. And Dr. Hess was president of the American Urologic Society, but also president of the Erie County Medical Society, the Pennsylvania Medical Society, and the AMA itself.
Wow,
so
that's
pretty
impressive.
Famous doctor, and then we have his microscope right there.
That's really cool.
It'll be in the it'll be down at the Hagen Historical Center on Friday.
Now you're part of a committee that has been working on this and gathering all of these historic artifacts and doing your research so that you could put this all together. How many years in the works has this been?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago, Dr. Clark, the president of the hospital, asked me to his office, and I was sort of told or I volunteered to do it. It's been so much fun because we've had so much interaction with retirees and graduates and the like. And this is fun because the legacy will be there for 6 months. We're going to be down at the Hagen, and people will be coming through and can learn a little bit about St. Vincent. And then we're going to bring it back and put it in one of our sub lobbies, and so it'll be a permanent display, sort of like forever. Yeah, we'll have our history. Yeah, it'll be really neat.
That's terrific. Tell me one or two things that you learned during this process that really kind of surprised you.
Well, I'd say first, the role of the sisters is unbelievable. I mean, they went out and raised $7,000 in 1875, which doesn't sound like a lot of money, but I'm sure it was, to build the first hospital, which was 12 beds and an OR in the basement. And then they raised like $80,000 25 years later to make the second hospital, which added another 58 beds for a total of 70 beds. So that was the first thing, was the sisters. Second is philanthropy has been important to St. Vincent this entire time. And then I think the third thing is the march of progress. Like St. Vincent, the Erie was lucky because St. Vincent kept reinvesting. We would have a CAT scanner in 1950. First X-rays were in 1918. So all these things that came along and brought technology to Erie, and it really
Erie was on the cutting edge of all of it.
Yeah, it's been great.
That's great. Well, it's going to be a fantastic display. Again, it's at the Hagen Museum. It opens Friday from 10 to 3, but then it will be there for 6 months or so. You can pop in and visit. You can also go to ahn.org if you'd like to learn more. But check that out. That's going to be really, really interesting. Thank you for all your work in putting that together.